I don't know, men drink milk, glasses of milk, so I just can't even really, I just don't understand them.
The amount of men that I've met who are like, I just always want just a glass of milk.
I don't fucking, why? Can someone please contact us and tell, if you're a guy, and tell us why you fucking love glasses of milk?
Yeah,
because
please.
I don't get it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to What They Don't Say. Today we are going to be discussing body dysmorphia. You know, we're trying to create conversation around sexual assault in general, but what people don't really think about a lot is how your relationship to your body and what you think your body deserves or how it should be fueled or how you think of your body physically. People don't really talk about that aspect of like post-assault or post-traumatic event at all.
This is a potluck of information that we are going to be giving to you guys.
We have a buffet of topics today.
But it all is somewhat adjacent to talking about body dysmorphia, food, eating, healing, those processes.
Your relationship with your body after trauma.
Yeah.
Whether you think you deserve to eat or not to eat. And it's from a perspective of two people who've been sexually assaulted.
In case you didn't know that already.
Yeah, if you're new here.
If you're new here.
Okay, if you're new here.
Cheers.
Welcome. We love you.
Let's dive in.
Let's get into it.
It's giving.
Today's episode, or our emotions around today are giving. Or, you know, people like when you're working out and things like that, or like you have to dig deep. Some people say like, oh, you got that dog in you. You know, like
Yeah, dig
we
down
used to have
deep.
a friend who would be like, you don't have that dog in you. Today, my boyfriend was like, where's your dog? Like, why don't you have that dog in you? And I was like, well, my dog is out on a walk by himself. And I don't know when he's coming back. Our dogs are out for their own walks.
Dogs
together.
are out. They're out. They're just out. Who knows when they're coming back? Maybe they'll come back while we're recording. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine. Something that I have been just like thinking about, especially because, you know, I work out and I lift weights and stuff, but have historically been a small person. I mean, I still am a small person, but like I was like looking at like photos of myself from, you know, freshman year of college and high school and stuff. And I was just significantly smaller than I was now. And I was probably like 100 pounds, maybe.
How tall are you?
5'6".
Okay.
100 pounds.
We're about the same height. Yeah.
Yeah, like pretty small. And now I'm like 125 for anyone who's wanted to just know. Anyone who was curious.
100 pounds? How were you not hospitalized?
I don't know. I think like I was just so much smaller. Definitely didn't eat enough. Definitely, I don't know. I didn't have a lot of muscle, and muscle weighs a lot more. And I definitely have a lot more muscle than I did back then.
Okay.
But my issue recently in the past couple years is that I'll finally start like putting on weight and putting on muscle, but then I'll freak out and tell myself that I'm getting fat.
Okay.
So then I stop eating.
You want to gain weight because you want to gain muscle type of weight.
Yeah.
Because you want to look bigger and like have more defined muscles. But then once you actually start to see those results, you just think you're fat.
Yes. Instead
Or
of just
overweight.
actually thinking that, oh, I'm like putting on muscle, this is good for me. So then I stop eating so that I then like reset. And it's this vicious cycle I've been in for probably 2 years now, which is why I don't really see a lot of results and why like I'm strong, but I don't look strong is because I'm constantly telling myself once I finally am eating enough for how I'm working out, like, oh, you're fat. You need to stop eating now. And then I won't eat that much for like a week or two. Mm-hmm. And that's enough for me to lose like 5 pounds. And I know that really just kind of roots itself in this fact that like, I feel like every fucking person walking on the street has like body dysmorphia.
Or at least you might not. So, I mean, this concept of body dysmorphia, you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing something basically different than how you actually look.
Yeah.
And the way you're perceiving yourself is different than how you actually are.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that a lot of people have like diagnosed body dysmorphia, but more than that, I just believe that people don't like the way that they look due to a constant comparing of themselves to others. Yeah. Which is the whole like social media thing and everything everywhere. Like we're just fed so much more information these days about what our bodies quote unquote should look like than there was ever in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, our parents were only getting that sort of media through print ads, newspapers, maybe billboards. Now, not only do we have newspaper ads and billboards, but we have social media, we have ads before movies, we have YouTube ads, we have, you know, things around malls and stores, and like it's literally everywhere you look. Like if you spend a week walking around and like paying attention to the ads that you're seeing or just the media you're seeing specifically related to body things or like makeup, like cosmetic stuff, you will probably count like hundreds.
Yeah, but I also, you know, it's also being constantly fed to you every time you open up your phone. And social media is not real. Like everyone's portraying their best version of themselves or even a version of themselves that like doesn't actually exist. Like it's altered in some way. When we're constantly seeing like, this is what we're supposed to look like, this is how we should be dressing. Oh, well, is that like in high school, we were fed the idea that like, if you don't have big boobs, like you are not sexy or like things like that, because we're being fed to it on this like social media area. And then that gets fed into society and then society is feeding it back to us. So we're like getting exposed to these ideas of what you're supposed to look like from every perspective, you know, because it's being portrayed out into the world after it's like been put onto social media. And but it's been that way for like as long as I can remember. Like, you know, I remember being a child, like a literal child, like, you know, younger than 10 years old, and thinking, why is my belly a little bit bigger than my boobs are? Or like really like stupid things like that. Like I used to like stare at myself in the mirror as like a 8-year-old kid and be like, what's wrong with me? Like, why don't I look like a grown-ass woman?
Yeah, why don't I have
like,
boobs and a butt?
Yeah, and you're like 8 years old. What are you fucking doing? And then I would do ab workouts every single night before bed as an 8-year-old kid, thinking that was gonna give me a beautiful toned body when my body hadn't even gone through puberty yet. Like it wasn't.
You're not even close to puberty yet.
Yeah, like and that's like so crazy to me. And then that also led to very like weird, bad eating habits, right? Like I would only let myself eat like I would measure my cereal in the morning and into one cup.
Because that was the serving size.
That's the serving size. That's all you get. And I'm like an 8-year-old kid. Like I should never have been doing that. But because I was so obsessed with like, how do I become that perfect woman that we see, you know, in magazines. At that point, we didn't have social media actually. And so it's not like I was seeing it in social media like that I see on TV. How do I get to that? How do I have the big boobs and like the like toned abs and all this stuff? Like I was so obsessed with it. And I was a literal child. I remember, you know, being like at soccer practice and I would stare down and like be like, where are my boobs? Like those girls are starting to get boobs. Like why literally I'd like look down at myself. Like it was like this like horrible, like terrible thing. And like I feel like when you talk to other girls about this, you're like, yeah, I did the same thing when I was like a child.
Yeah, like boobs were the big thing. And I have so many thoughts on this. But for starters, every time we sit down to record, we have to pick out clothes to wear, even though no one really watches this, but thank you if you do. But, you know, mainly for clip purposes, right? Like we have to dress ourselves. And every time that I sit down to record, I think, okay, well, I don't want my stomach to be out because I don't like when my stomach folds over my pants. But I started thinking just now as you were talking, why do I not like when my stomach folds over my pants? Why don't I like it? Because that's completely normal and natural to sit down and to have your stomach
and everyone has that.
Right. And
like I have that. It's just hiding under my pants. Like I literally wear like the highest waisted pants when I do this because like it's like so like you can't, you know.
It's like past your belly button.
Yeah.
But the only reason that I feel the need to make sure that part of my stomach is hidden is because it's, you know, been fed to me that that's unattractive. And also, you know, it's become a personal preference over time. Like my stomach isn't the focus of this content. So I don't want it to be showing, and I don't want to be sitting here thinking, is everyone looking at my tummy that's folding over my belt loops instead of listening to what I'm saying, right? So there's that aspect of it. As far as this childhood looking at your titties and being like, where the fuck are they? Why aren't they here? I would like to say there was a girl in 4th grade who had boobs. Like she had, I can pick, not in a weird way, I can picture, like I remember in 4th grade, one of my best friends was the only one in the whole grade that had grown boobs. And she, like I would probably say in hindsight, it was probably like a B cup, maybe C, but in 4th grade, that's wild.
That's huge. That's bigger than my boobs are now. That's not that hard to do.
But I just remember all of the boys being like, oh, you know, like Sydney, she has the big boobs, like she's the attractive one. And I was like, why can't I have them? Not to mention that Lauren and her other cousin.
I was such a bitch, guys. This is such exposure.
I don't know if this was like 6th grade or 7th grade, but Lauren and her other cousin literally used to make fun of me when we would put on bathing suits because they'd be like, ha ha, Shannon, you have no boobs.
Which is hilarious because, like, we didn't have boobs either. Like, but, what were we talking about?
I was completely... So, sorry, we're kind of getting on, like, a tangent here. But, you know, Lauren, you played soccer really competitively. I was a competitive figure skater. And, like, we were spending... Like, I was spending probably 80% of my week, not including, like, sleeping and stuff, working out. And as a child who was prepubescent, your body can't store fat, like, because it's just literally incapable because you're burning through so many calories every single day. And so I'm sitting there comparing myself to all these other girls who are starting to grow boobs and starting to hit puberty, but like puberty was delayed for me. Like I didn't get my period till I was 16 because of so much working out, right?
Yeah.
And so you and our other cousin would make fun of me, right, in a bathing suit for not having boobs. But in reality, it's just like everybody's body is growing differently. But you can understand that at that age. All you think about is, why don't I have this type of body? Why don't I have that type of body?
Yeah.
And I would just like to say, now I have the biggest titties out of the 3 of us. And I kind of wish they were smaller. And I wished every day for big boobs when I was young. And now that I have them, they're a challenge every day.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those things where it's like the grass is always greener, right? Like, I have always had small boobs, and in high school...
Gonna be like zooming in on her.
I know.
They're gonna be like, are her boobs actually small? Are the Shannon's boobs big?
They really actually are. They really are. And
they're just fun size.
Thank you. I've had so many
guys portable.
Say that to me.
They're portable.
It is easy to move around in them. So... That's nice. I have never experienced the whole, like, having a difficulty running because my boobs, which I feel...
Or just, like, putting on a small shirt and just looking like an absolute whore and a half. Any tank top I wear, it's just like, oh, she's giving slut.
Well, that's society's problem. If they have a problem with that, they can go fuck themselves. Women's bodies have... become like a trend, and I think it's always been like this. Like if you look at like what women looks like, you know, in like the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, like it has changed. Like what's trendy and what's not, which I think is fucked up. Like literally how women's bodies are is a trend. And so I remember in high school it was trendy to have big boobs. Like it was like the hot thing, and that's what guys wanted. So then like little 15-year-old me over here was like, well, I don't have big boobs. What's wrong with me? All I want are big boobs. I just want big boobs.
And then you're unattractive because you don't have them.
Right.
Quote unquote.
And then, you know, you grow up a little bit. Like, you know, I have graduated from college, and now you hear guys be like, oh, like I don't care. Like boobs are boobs. Like who
but
cares?
You know what they do like now? Butts. Big boobs are out. Little boobs are in. Big butts are in as well.
Yeah, like it's like crazy how the stuff has like changed over time, and as we're growing up, it's literally a fucking trend. And so now my big boobs are trendy, or my little boobs are trendy, and I've never experienced that before. And I get compliments on them, and I'm like, the fuck? Why are you what are you complimenting? You know, like what? You know, and it's very, very weird. But then it just goes to show that like our perspectives on our bodies are like 100% shaped by what society is telling us is good or bad.
When you start to think about just like why we feel this way, like when you really start to dig in to like, okay, well, we're comparing ourselves to others, we're consuming all this content and media and like all of this stuff about how we think our bodies should look, quote unquote, based on what society's telling us, right? You kind of go all the way to the root of like the very beginning of times, right? It was actually like a survival tactic, like comparing yourself to others back in the day was like a way to stay alive, because if you're stronger than me and we're in the caveman times, you're going to live a hell of a lot longer than I am, right? But now fashion companies and cosmetic companies, all this make money off of trends because it enables them to say, oh, well, now like butts are the thing. So we're going to come out with these yoga pants that have these like scrunches down your ass crack. Kind of weird, but to each their own. We're going to come out with scrunches down your ass crack so your butt looks bigger. And that's going to drive sales because butts are trendy now. So we can create a new clothing line that helps butts look bigger. Then if that trend never changed, they wouldn't have the opportunity to make more money and to expand their market and all of that.
Fast fashion is built on trends constantly changing. Like they do that on purpose so that they can constantly be like rolling in new clothes, making sure people get excited about it and keep buying it. It's why like our landfills are filled with textiles. It's a huge environmental problem too. Like this is like thinking about this like holistically, capitalism does thrive on creating these trends in like the fashion industry and like image industry in general. And then that plays into people's mental health. Like It's like, oh, well, I need the newest thing. I need to buy this. I need to buy that, or I'm not going to be cool, or I'm not going to be hot. I'm not going to be sexy. And that's just like so fucking stupid. Like it just isn't how human beings are designed. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. And that's why we then are like, well, why don't I have big boobs? Why don't I have small boobs? Why don't I have a big butt? Like, why don't I have
a skinny waist?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just like companies like literally make shit up out of their assholes to make money. That's how deodorant was created. That was like not like no one gave a fuck that like people had like BO until they were like, well, let's make it a problem for humans so that we can then make money off of it. Like it's just it's just a money-making scheme, and that's why we then get self-conscious. Like, oh my gosh, my armpits are sweating. Wow, I suck. Like
me every day. Me with my stinky ass fucking armpits and my stained clothes from my pit problem. My pit sweating problem, which apparently isn't a problem. I'm just natural. I'm just born with it. Okay. So that's like the root one, right? Like the root one of body dysmorphia and any body image issues or just negative feelings that you might have towards your body from a aesthetic standard. Like we're not talking about not being healthy. Like we are here to promote like a healthy lifestyle and all of that. Just specifically when we're talking about body image issues from a negative standpoint aesthetically, I do believe that they come from mainly society, media, trends, all that stuff. The other side of things that can really begin to like impact how you look at yourself or how you feel physically about how you look is trauma. Trauma can impact how you view your body, how you believe your body should be fueled, how you believe it shouldn't be fueled, how much you believe that your body deserves to be taken care of. Yeah. And sexual assault is one of those things where it's such a violation to your physical space and who you are that you might start to believe that you don't need to eat. You don't deserve to eat. That person made you feel so diminished that why would I put calories in my body today? I don't deserve it. Or maybe you feel the need to completely overfill your body. Maybe you just feel like there's this void after being assaulted that needs to be filled. And the easiest thing to fill it with is food.
Survivors of any type of trauma, like that does shit to your body and that does shit to your brain and how you view yourself. And I think especially when your body has been the thing that's violated, then there's that sense of like, why would I'm just like not going to take care of my body because it is now worthless. Mm-hmm. I have been violated in such a way that like I'm not worth anything. My body isn't worth anything. Why would I take care of it? And I think that is, maybe some of the reasons why some survivors then become like hypersexual, right? And they're like, well, it doesn't matter what happens to my body anymore. Like, I'm just gonna let anyone do whatever they want or like things like that. And, that sounds like really fucked up and sad. And it is, but it's just like, it is something that happens. And, I think Shannon, I do think you can really talk on behalf of this because I think your experience pre-assault and post-assault was drastic. And I think that is something that you, if you're comfortable, should share.
Everything I'm about to say was something that I didn't really realize exactly what it was until during trial and when I was writing my victim impact statement. And I would say I had an eating problem. after being assaulted. I'm not going to say I had an eating disorder, but I would say I had some disordered eating. And I felt so empty after being assaulted. Like I just, my gas tank was so empty every day when I woke up. I had barely enough energy to like brush my teeth, and I was still skating at the time, but like if you ask anybody, they'll tell you that my skating was absolute fucking garbage after I was assaulted, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. I just was so empty. And I would, spend the day, like I would eat some food, things would be pretty normal. And then when night would come, I would go into the kitchen. My mom would be asleep. My stepdad was asleep. And I would just find anything I possibly could. Like, we didn't even have that many unhealthy food items in my house, but anything that I could get my hands on. And I would just fucking shove my face with probably like 1,500 to 2,000 calories in one sitting, which that's a lot of calories to eat in one sitting of things that aren't like fast food or things like that. And I would just eat and eat and eat until I was so egregiously full, like I would be uncomfortable. And I never purged or made myself throw up after that, which is why I say it's like disordered eating, not an eating disorder. But I didn't understand why. Like every single night I was going in and I would just feel fucking awful after eating all this food. Like so uncomfortable, so full, just like disgusting. And I'd be sitting there like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I eating all this food? I don't understand. Like, what's wrong with me? And then I would keep eating more and more after that. And this happened for a long time. And now with hindsight, and especially when I was, like writing my impact statement, I realized it's because I just felt so empty and I didn't know any other way to fill myself up except for alone in my bedroom with tons and tons of food that I didn't even need or want. And I wasn't even fucking hungry at that time, but it was just like, I'm going to eat this food because maybe it will make me feel better and maybe it will make me feel a little bit less empty.
Do you think that changed how you viewed yourself physically?
Yeah. I wasn't really even taking care of myself on a lot of standpoints. Like I really wasn't showering very much. There was certain things with skating that like I had to do. So I was forced to get out of the house every day. But if I had an opportunity to not leave the house or if I could just stay, I would be asleep in my room. I would be eating. And every time I looked in the mirror, it was just one of those things of like, it doesn't matter. What I look like doesn't matter. And I can't say that I felt disgusting looking in the mirror. I certainly felt disgusting while eating so much food all the time. But I was just like, it doesn't matter what I look like because taking care of myself, not only does it not feel possible because I'm so fucking depressed, frankly, but it just doesn't feel necessary because my body doesn't deserve it because that's how shitty I felt after being assaulted.
Do you think that you kind of just dissociated yourself from that person that was like eating a lot and things like that? Like when you looked in the mirror, were you kind of just like, well, I don't care because that's just not really me?
Like the person in the mirror looking back at me?
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
Kind of.
I don't know. Like, I think that when we were going through all of this stuff, like the assault, like after the assault, the whole trial, it was really easy for me to disassociate from the girl that was going through that stuff. It was like, oh, that's like, I'm, call me fucking Hannah Montana. I'm living a double life.
Right.
Because I just would pretend like all that trauma and everything we were living through, especially during the trial, was just like almost like watching a movie. Like it wasn't me. And so it was very easy to then dissociate any of that pain. Even though like I knew I was dealing with this stuff and I was dealing with this pain, I was able to separate myself from it. And I think this is like a really common thing for survivors to do.
Yeah.
Like I know that was a very big premise of like Chanel Miller's book, Say My Name.
Yeah, Say My Name.
She would just kind of be reading all this stuff in the news about her, but it wasn't her. And then how there was like power in like reclaiming her name and her story, and like that was her, like that was her life. That's what she was like. That is what she went through, and there's power in that. And I think that I have also felt similar, where for so long I did pretend like that was somebody else, and then through like the healing process, I was able to kind of reclaim that story, even though it's not pretty,
Right.
and make it my own. And I'm just wondering, like, when you were going through that, if maybe you just didn't care that much, because when you looked in the mirror, you're kind of just like, well, that girl that's experiencing that pain is like not me.
I do think I felt disconnected from myself, so yes, I guess is what I would say is yes. But when you're like sitting there, and if you're just binge eating, we'll just call it binge eating, and you're not having that same like mind tummy connection, like it feels very much severed, which is why you're able to push past the feeling of being full and just dive right into complete over fullness. Like I could have thrown up for sure. It didn't, but because I knew, like I know a lot about eating disorders, like with skating, I was surrounded by people with eating disorders all the time. Like I knew what that looked like. I didn't think that just like eating a shit ton of food all the time, all in one sitting, could be considered like unhealthy. But it was so clear that I was missing that mind to tummy connection, because I could go so beyond past being full to being like uncomfortable and like doubled over in bed, just like rolling around like a little bowling ball. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. You were in pain, but you were controlling that pain because you were the one that was making it happen. So in a way, you were able to control what was going into your body. And maybe in that way, it felt good almost.
It felt good while I was doing it, but it created this horrible cycle for after of that. Like, why did I do that? Also, not to mention that the next day I would feel awful, especially skating. Like I would just feel like I had an extra pound rolling around or something in there. And not to mention like eating super late at night isn't healthy. And I was hiding that was the other thing, is I was hiding so many things from my mom. Like I was hiding all of the wrappers, if there was wrappers for anything. I was like hiding things in the garbage can, putting them underneath other things so that she wouldn't say, hey, what are you doing? Like where did all of these crackers go? I'm like, in my tummy last night, the whole 3 boxes gone.
So there was a sense of shame. Like you felt ashamed of yourself for doing that.
Yeah. But not, like I was saying, but not at first. During the moment, it just is like, I just need to feel full. I need to like fix this void. I'm just going to eat and eat and eat and eat. And wow, this is so good. Let me try this food, blah, blah, blah. All these different food combinations. And then it's just like, why did I do this? Like, how dare I do this? Like, I'm supposed to be taking care of my body, but I don't feel like I need to take care of my body. That whole internal dialogue.
I think that like is definitely a very common thing to do. Even from like day to day, when people get stressed, they just eat because
they don't eat,
they don't eat because like they just don't know what to do. And so, what advice would you give for people who do struggle with that, who do struggle with just like, I'm stressed out, or like I went through something, or maybe they are experiencing like literally exactly what you're talking about right now, right? Where like they were assaulted and like they just like wanted control over what was going in their body. They like didn't want to feel empty and they're like eating a lot. Like we have talked about this idea of like mindful eating and things like that. Like, what do you think could actually help someone that's experienced that? Like, what helped you, things like that?
Well, there's no one way to get through it, but I think something that worked for me was that, like I had mentioned, I didn't really realize this problem that I was having until I realized why I was eating. And that reason was because I was feeling so empty, because I didn't feel like my body deserved to be fueled correctly, or in a healthy way, I should say. So first you kind of need to realize, like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I actually like have some sort of addiction to like sugar, which is a real thing? Do I have an addiction to salt? Am I like not getting enough like certain nutrients in my diet? Or is it because I actually went through something really awful and I don't know how to handle it internally, right? And so you need to figure out the root of the why. So that's the biggest thing. And that's hard. That takes some therapy. That takes some thought. That might take some writing for you. That might take some talking to a friend of like, I'm doing this thing and I don't know why. And hopefully they can help you get to that root of like, oh, I feel empty, or I feel disgusting, or I just feel like I don't deserve anything. The next thing that you had kind of mentioned was mindful eating. And this is a hard thing. We are not nutritionists. We aren't, like, Lauren and I are not professionals. With that being said, I've spent a lot of time with nutritionists. I've talked to a lot of different people about eating things. Like, being in a high-level sport, food is an aspect of how you train, how you function, all of that. Once again, not a professional, but I do have some knowledge behind it. So I look at mindful eating as, am I full? Am I not full? How do I really feel about the food that I'm eating? Like basically, when I think of mindful eating, I think of just constantly checking in with yourself over the period of the day and over the period of time that you're like sitting down to eat a meal. So when I was binge eating, I wasn't paying attention to how many calories or how full I was or how full I felt. I was only paying attention to, I need to make sure I get this in my mouth. Like I need to find whatever I can to shove it in my face. But if I had sat there and thought, okay, how full do I feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Then I might have realized I'm at a 12 right now. Let me take a pause for 10 minutes. And it takes your body 20 minutes, I think it is, to recognize like food, right?
It takes your body 20 minutes to realize how full you are.
Okay.
So that's like, if you're someone who eats really fast, you'll probably end up eating more than you really need.
Right.
Because you're not allowing your body the time to realize, whoa, hey, like I'm full, like I don't need more food in me yet.
Oh, and also like eating when you're actually hungry. Like Lauren and I are big promoters of just like you should be eating, like in general, like whether you binge ate the night before or whether you feel like shit or just feel like you're overweight or that you don't deserve food, like you need to put food in your body. Like your body is like a car, like cars need gas to run. Your body needs fuel to be a functioning human being. But anyways, so you have one side of mindful eating, which is like noticing how full am I actually, but it's also how hungry am I? And it's paying attention to how hungry you are throughout the day so that you don't get to, holy shit, I am starving. I'm going to kill everyone. I'm so hangry. Like I'm going to scream if I don't get food. And it's paying attention to, well, that's not really mindful eating, I guess.
Well,
I'm just getting a little bit too into this conversation.
I think that is right. You want to be paying attention to how you are feeling. And I learned mindful eating from like a meditation practice. And I guess there are like so many different ways you can think about it. For me, it is thinking about how hungry am I? Am I hungry? Am I full? Allowing my body the time to process that food. But it's also really about what am I putting into my body? Because I think it can be really easy for a lot of people, especially because food that is bad for you is cheap. And so it's easy to get your hands on, and like, especially as a college student, whoever you are, like, it's just easy, right? Like cup of noodles, all that shit. It's so easy to just buy. It's cheap. It's quick, things like that. A lot of the stuff this country especially produces is super processed and is super bad for you. And I have always been really, really scared of food because of that. Like, I don't trust it. I like have been like this since I was a little kid. Like it just is something that I pay attention a lot to. You know, someone was talking to me about how like, if you eat breakfast and you're hungry an hour later, it's because you are not actually putting something into your body that is fueling you in the correct ways. And so even though you're eating, it doesn't mean you're actually eating in a way that you are putting what you need and the nutrients you need into your body. And so for me, mindful eating was, paying attention to hunger, not being hungry, but it was also about, is the thing that I'm eating right now actually gonna provide me with nutrients? Like, am I eating something that is good for me, or am I just like sitting here with a tub of ice cream? Obviously there's balance, right? Like, it's okay to like sometimes eat like a processed snack or a dessert or something like that, but I do think that a huge part of it is figuring out that balance. And so for me, I learned about it because I need to be conscious of where I'm getting my food. And that's something that can be really hard to do, and also be more expensive, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Because how food is processed in the US, like we have a lot of extra shit like high fructose corn syrup and like hydrogenated fats that are super fucking bad for you, but they make food like last longer and make them cheaper, so they're easier to get your hands on. And so it can be harder to find alternatives, but you can. And sorry, this is like such a little like tangent.
It's okay.
But I do think it is important when thinking about mindful eating to be thinking about the food that you are putting into your body, and if it's actually giving you what you need, right? Because like, if you're eating breakfast and you're hungry an hour later, you are not giving yourself what you need. And I do think that is something important to be thinking about, especially when you're trying to heal from something traumatic. Like that's really draining on your body. It's super draining on your body to heal from trauma. Like, it doesn't matter if you're doing extreme physical activity or you're laying in bed all day. Like, it is goddamn draining, and you need to be putting stuff into your body that will help that healing process.
Well, I really liked what you said about this whole your body basically even needs more fuel and more of the correct fuel. Or not even, I'm like really hesitant about saying like good food versus bad food. I think if you've ever had like some form of disordered eating of any type, if you categorize like good food versus bad food, it might like prevent you from eating, things like that. I've been trying to move away from it because frankly, yeah, anyways. But like if you are, like think about if you're injured, like if you're physically injured, let's say you broke your ankle. If you just tried to like go and, oh my God, speaking of injured, I just got a very severe foot cramp.
Are you okay?
I'm not okay right now.
You need to go like this.
Think about, your trauma as an injury. If you had broken your ankle, you're going to have to do physical therapy. You might need to go get a massage. Maybe you're crazy and you're not crazy, but maybe you're going to like getting dry needled. I don't know. You're going to be doing heat and ice. Like when you're injured, you have to do physically injured, you have to go above and beyond to make that part of your body feel better and to get it back to its original healthy state. And so if you have been like traumatized and you're experiencing a little bit of mental illness or, just emotional trauma, I guess we'll say, then it's even more important that you're giving your body that extra nutrients that it wants. So not good food versus bad food, but eating vegetables, eating chicken, eating full proteins, all of that, full carbs. But like this isn't a diet lesson. This is just a reminder that like if you are somebody who's really going through it right now, you still need to fuel your body. And maybe for you, you're like, hey, I don't have that in my budget, or I can't cook for myself. Like I don't think I can manage that. Try to do one thing a day that is in your meals / your diets or whatever, that is going to fuel your body the way that it like is meant to be fueled. Mm-hmm. Whether that's like, I'm going to eat 3 blueberries. Great. Start there. I'm going to have 1 piece of protein today. Just starting small. This is not a diet lesson. We're just trying to remind you that like your body needs to be fueled and it wants to be fueled a certain way, especially when you're experiencing some emotional hard times. So in summary, if you're somebody who is experiencing like you're maybe way overeating or way eating like a ton of stuff at one time, which I would kind of classify as binge eating, first you need to figure out why. Why are you doing this? What is the root of this problem? Is it because you've gone through something? Is it because you're not aware of what you're consuming? More likely than not, it's going to be about something bigger than just like you're not fueling your body right. It's most likely going to be most likely be something has happened in your life and you're not addressing it. Number 2, mindful eating, really paying attention to when you are eating. Are you actually full? Even though maybe there's still food left on your plate, but you're full and you can come back to it in an hour. Are you still hungry even though that plate of food is gone? But really being aware of what you're putting into your body and how it's making you feel. That's kind of a summary of my stuff.
On the flip side, for someone like me, when I am going through something, when I'm stressed out, I don't really eat. I don't know if it's just feels easier for me not to eat. Maybe it feels cheaper, like things like that. It just is kind of a default for me. And so I have definitely had to work through ways to figure that out. And that takes time. Like when I was going through, I'd say just that the ugliest part of my healing process, eating was super, super hard. But when I was coming out of that, and I know people will tell you not to do this.
Uh-oh, here we go.
But I don't practice mindful eating anymore because, well, that's not right. I practice mindful eating in the sense of like I really pay attention to the things that I eat and I make sure I'm eating healthy and things like that. But when it comes to me actually sitting down and eating my food, I distract myself. Like I do put on the TV show and it helps distract me. So I'm not focusing on how much I'm eating. I'm just watching the TV and I'm eating all my food, and before I know it, I've eaten my whole plate of food, because for me that's the healthy decision to make. So, I'm taking the time to make sure I'm putting good food into my body, but then when it comes to down to eating it, it's like, no, I'm going to find any distraction I can to help me. And that's been really helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
Because eating the full plate of food is harder for you.
It's super hard for me.
So yeah, if you're somebody who has a hard time just eating in general, or just you feel like you don't want to, or that's one of your responses to your traumatic event is that like you just don't want to eat, you're just not hungry, distract yourself.
Yeah. Find
that content. We're telling you to go on the TikTok, go on the YouTube, go on the Netflix.
Yeah.
Read a book.
It really, like I know people say not to do that, but if you can't eat enough, it's actually so fucking helpful because then also you look forward to your eating times. You're like, this is my like 30 minutes. I'm just going to sit, I'm going to watch my show and I'm going to enjoy myself and I'm going to eat my food. And you start looking forward to your eating times.
Which is big. Because
it's like it's relaxing. You get to like do something that takes your brain off of whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is you're dealing with. And it's nice. Like it's really actually helped me eat the amount of food that I need to be eating. So that has been one thing. So finding something that you can do while you're eating your food that will help you push through to the finish line and eat everything that's on your plate. The other thing is finding diversity in the foods you eat has been a game changer for me because I literally used to eat chicken and rice every fucking day. And
that was like last month, Lauren.
No. This is like,
are you sure?
This was like last year.
Okay.
And that's like all I would eat. It was really boring. You know, it was healthy, but I never looked forward to eating. So therefore I just didn't sometimes. Recently, I've been finding ways, like economical ways that I can kind of diversify the foods that I'm eating and the meals that I'm making, the type of meats that I'm making and things like that, so that it's a little bit more exciting. You're like, oh, I'm kind of excited for like my dinner tonight. Like I have, all these things to like make really yummy tacos or whatever. And I know that I'm going to make that meal and it's going to last me a few days. Like I'm going to have leftovers. It's going to be so great. Like I have figured out a way to make myself look forward to the food that I'm eating because it's maybe different from what I had yesterday or the day before that and things like that.
You could also maybe like some of my friends do this where they pick a random food of the week, butternut squash or pomegranate, and they try to like incorporate it into a meal. And so maybe you're uninspired with cooking. Maybe you're like you were saying you don't want to eat, but it's a challenge for me this week to try to figure out like how do I incorporate pomegranate into 2 of my meals, and that will definitely diversify. Like you could probably go on like ChatGPT and type in like tell me a super random like 5 random vegetables from the store and just pick one that way to keep that. The variety is the spice of life.
No, variety. But it really helps. So I think those have been the 2 things in the past couple of years that have helped me get the food on my plate that I enjoy, and then also finishing the whole plate. And it's like, it's hard to do. It's easier said than done. For me, like my trauma response was just like, I'm not going to eat anything. I'm just going to shut down and like my body will figure it out.
I mean, we've basically established that there's probably a lot of variety of how people respond when it comes to like eating post-trauma. But we basically established that there's 2 like big groups, like maybe binge eating or restricting food or not eating at all. Why do you think that you restricted? Is it because that's just what your body does when you're going to trauma? Like you're just shut down? Or was it actually something where you felt like you didn't deserve to fuel your body? Like, do you know why you did that at all?
I think a lot of survivors would say that I just feel like I didn't deserve to take care of myself. Like I feel like my body doesn't deserve that. Like my body's worthless, like we were talking about before. And I think that's very valid. But for me, a very common stress response is like, my hunger disappears. I'm just not hungry. Like I'm not hungry throughout the day, so I don't think about it. And then you top that with being a fucking adult and having responsibilities. Like you have your job or classes or whatever. Maybe you're in school. And so then you're just busy. So you're busy. Your body is pretending like it's not hungry because it's just like in this weird stress response. And so you're not thinking about it. You're like, you don't have time to eat, maybe, like whatever it might be. Like you're going from meeting to class to work, and that's just what you're doing. And so it's just like not at the forefront of your brain. And so I think that was like the thing for me, is that my body was shut down in a way that it wasn't allowing me to realize that I was hungry. Because of course I was hungry. But I couldn't realize that. Like my body was just like, oh, whatever. Like it was on fucking vacation somewhere, and like
Not vacation.
It was
in jail.
Like yeah, I guess. Just confined somewhere else. My dog was not around.
Your dog was not here.
It was
your
not
dog
here.
Your dog was in a garbage can, suffering.
My dog was in a high kill shelter.
Yeah.
Like just didn't have a concept of the fact that I needed to feel myself. And I think part of that too was like I was purposefully distracting myself and making sure I had so many things going on that I couldn't even think about myself and my body and my trauma and my healing and my pain and my suffering and everything. Basically, I just like numbed myself to the point where I didn't realize I was hungry and I didn't realize I had any feelings at all.
Because you were also kind of doing that disconnected, like dissociating.
Yeah, exactly.
Between you and your body.
There are so many different extremes here, and there's a lot of people who are probably like right down the middle, and you're like, some days I never eat and some days I'm eating so much. And I also went through that too a little bit, where it was just so... And it takes time. It takes time to find that like nice, you're just cruising like middle ground where like, yeah, you probably have some bad eating days, but for the most part, like you're doing good. I feel like I'm in that place now.
Yay.
But it will probably end at some point and then come back again. Like it really is like this like weird cycle, but it takes time. It really does. It's not something you can change overnight, unfortunately.
It's not linear.
Yeah. I wish it was. That'd be cool.
I don't know if this has helped you because we've kind of established that the issue that I turned to was overeating. For yours, it's not eating at all. However, I have had a period in my life where I like really wasn't eating due to trauma response. It was not being sexually assaulted. But my point of that saying that is that like I do relate to that feeling. And also just in general, sometimes in just like daily life, I think, well, I'm not hungry because I don't know what I feel like eating. That's a sentence that I think I said it to myself yesterday even. It's just, I'm like, well, I don't know exactly what I feel like eating. So I'm just going to wait until I actually know what I want to eat. And those are the times where one, I get to a point where I'm just meltdown nation. Like crying. I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to have. Maybe not crying, but I'm just being dramatic. I hate everyone. I'm upset. I'm angry. And so it can either get to that point. Or I just like eventually cave and eat something that I don't like and I take a few bites and I don't eat it at all. But I do think that if you're feeling hunger, it might be good for you, but like you don't know, if you are feeling hungry and you don't know exactly what you quote unquote feel like, it could be good to just have a bite of one thing and tell yourself you don't have to eat all of it. Just have like 1 or 2 bites, maybe 3 bites maximum. And if you don't want to keep eating, fine, then stop. But a lot of times I believe that you are telling yourself and your brain is like not sending that message of like, I'm hungry, but it is. And the way to kind of wake that up could be to just like put a spoonful of peanut butter in your mouth, period. Like, and that's a great, like, just as a side note, like a great sad meal. Like peanut butter has, you know, some healthy fats in it. We've got some protein, we've got some carbs. Eating a tablespoon of peanut butter might just be like 160 calories, period. Like 1 spoonful.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
What is one food that you've really been into lately?
Goat cheese.
The crackers or just like with a spoon?
No, like literally put that shit in everything. I put it in a vodka pasta and it made it all creamy and it was so good. I put it on tacos. I had like a chicken naan wrap yesterday that I put it on top of. Oh my gosh, I fucking love goat cheese. I've always loved goat cheese, but recently it has been my inspiration and my love.
That's pretty good. Goat cheese is good.
It is good. I love
like
it. Some
goat
people
cheese.
hate it. I don't know what's wrong with those people, but whatever. What about you?
I got an air fryer recently and I've been really into making French fries. I think that I probably make French fries 3 times a week.
Wow.
Maybe more.
But they're air fried, so they're not like...
air fried French fries. And I do eat them with a shit ton of Chick-fil-A sauce, but it's fine, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I would like to share one more meal because I made it this week and it's really good. And I don't eat vegetables really. And I've been trying to eat more vegetables. Actually, the meal that I'm about to say doesn't have vegetables in it. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Shannon like doesn't like vegetables at all.
I just don't really like it. And someone the other day was like, "Oh, you have ARFID," which
I definitely have that 100%.
There you go. I just didn't even know what it was.
I have such extreme food anxieties. It's unbelievable. That's like literally I could spend 3 hours talking about that. It's ridiculous.
Lauren and I are super different. I like look at the gray piece of chicken in my fridge that has like 50,000 pounds of GMOs in it. And I'm like, you know, it's probably fine. Lauren is the polar opposite. Any Hoosers, this other meal, sweet potato in the oven for like an hour, 400 degrees, cut it in half. Ground turkey. Okay, ground turkey can be gross, but on the stove, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, salt, Personally, I like that seasoned salt. I don't remember what it's called. Seasoned salt. Larry's, whatever. I don't know.
Larvae.
So that's with some onions, like physical onions and garlic. Okay.
Physical onions.
Then these next two items are items that are more expensive that I traditionally wouldn't buy, but I bought them to make this meal and I think they're really good. So you have sweet potato. You're going to put ground turkey on it. Okay. Then pomegranate seeds. Then I put feta cheese on it. I think it adds a nice little tang. Some people can put like kale on there as if you're into veggies. You could even do like pumpkin seeds to get some like extra nutrients. But yeah, sweet potato, ground turkey, pomegranate, feta.
That's very unique.
And it's also, you could make like several sweet potatoes and have and then have the ground turkey and the vegetables all prepped if you wanted.
Yeah.
And like easy throughout the week.
Yeah. I love that.
Thank you. This is now actually just a cooking podcast.
Yes.
I'm really hungry now.
Honestly, me too. I've been thinking about food now. That's good. We're hungry for lunch.
That's good. Fuel your bodies, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Also men. Yeah, we didn't really mention men at all in this, but
because we're not men, so we can't really.
Right, but I know.
I don't know how they. I don't know. Men drink milk, glasses of milk, so I just can't even really. I just don't understand them.
Dude, the amount of men that I've met who are like, I just always want just a glass of milk.
I don't fucking. Why? Can someone please contact us and if you're a guy and tell us why you fucking love glasses of milk?
Yeah,
because
please.
I don't get it.
Every
guy I know loves just drinking big glasses of milk.
Maybe it goes all the way back to like when they were babies. They just
and they're like
the nipple.
Dude, they do.
Everybody
and I hate to break it to you, but milk's not going to come out unless you're pregnant or have a fucking baby.
I'm just saying that's why they like milk, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Everything we're saying is from like a healing perspective, and everyone experiences that no matter like who you are or how you identify, right? Like this is just how we fucking fuel ourselves and what we need to be putting in, especially when we're going through something that's really hard and really, really traumatic. So it does, like, I know that we're women speaking on behalf of this, but this really does apply to literally anybody.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you guys so much. We hope you have a great rest of your week and eat food.
Yes.
Fuel your body.
Yay.
Your body deserves to have food in it.
And then maybe your doggy will come back.
Yeah. Okay, we love you guys. We hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Cheers.